This is a target bow that I bought for $200, and it could be a piece of junk, or it could turn into one of the most accurate bows that I've shot. Let's find out which one it is. Gentlemen, target archery is expensive. That is a well-accepted fact and just honestly the truth. But it is also, in my opinion, the best way, pound for pound, to improve your just pure archery capabilities. Specifically, if you're looking at indoor, 18 meters, 20 yards, whatever you want to call it, a Vegas round, when you're able to eliminate all of the elements and just be yourself. You don't have to worry about wind, you don't have to worry about broadheads or footing or anything like that that you do in like outdoor 3D hunting, anything like that. When it is just you and paper, that is when you know just how good you are. And if you can get good at that, it elevates your archery ability in all other archery fields, in my opinion. Now, in order to shoot good, a lot of guys will buy target bows, and target bows is where the expensive things start. You have bows that are easily pushing over $2,000 with numerous brands, and there's a lot of traits that make target bows better, but does that necessarily justify the price? Whether it does or not, that's not for me to decide. But the point is, if you could find a bow that has target bow traits, that's not very expensive, and you could use that to improve your skills with archery in general, that would kind of be the secret weapon. And that right there is how that guy came into my possession. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that bow. Welcome back, guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You better say it back to me. This bow is the Bear Revival. So this is a bow that, Bear tried to make a dip into the target scene. They actually had another target bow that they released. This came out in like 2018 or 2019. I don't remember which one. But when this bow launched, it was fairly inexpensive at the time even. It was a sub $900 target bow, depending on where you bought it from. I would draw comparisons to like the PSE Laser with this bow. And I'll be honest right out the gate, this bow, as I bought it, it's pretty beat up. The strings are not in good condition. The accessories on this thing could definitely use some work, but for what it is a bow that, like I said, I can take it to paper in target archery and probably improve my archery skills quite a bit. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but there are some traits that target bows have that generally make them more accurate and easier to shoot at long distances or shoot very accurately. One of those is the axle to axle. So if you're looking at this bow, it's a very long bow. I think this is about a 37-inch axle to axle bow. And that's, it's a good size bow. Now I would compare that to, and say it's important, because if you're trying to stand on one foot, imagine that's a very narrow string angle. But if you're widening your feet out a ton and you're almost doing the splits, you're gonna be a lot more solid, you're gonna have a lot more stability. So when you increase the string angle, you're effectively increasing your stability at full draw. That's a very quick and dirty summary of axle to axle. It also has a pretty long brace height. I don't remember the exact distance of this brace height. Effectively, what brace height is that it's the distance between the grip to the string, and it basically just means that you have less time that string is contacted by the arrow. You're effectively decreasing the distance that the string has time to put impressions on the arrow. So if your grip isn't perfect, if your form isn't perfect, if just something happens along the way to the shot, your string is not going to affect the arrow as much as it normally would. I'm gonna cut to the chase. I want to get into target archery this winter, this off season, and really improve my ceiling for archery for next hunting season. That's what my whole pursuit of archery focuses around, is bow hunting. But if target archery helps along the way, I'm fine with that as well. So this is really the first video in a whole series of target archery videos I'm gonna be making this winter. And because of that, this group is a group that I most of the time wouldn't really show. These arrows here are going to be really the first arrows out of the bow after I made sure that it honestly just isn't gonna blow up. Now, like I said, these strings are beat up. I'm gonna get new strings. This equipment is beat up. I'm probably gonna get new equipment, but I just want to see what this bow can shoot in really the lowest of the lows. If you can't handle them at their lowest, you don't deserve them at their best. So let's go ahead, put a couple arrows down range, and see how this thing shoots. I love it. Just as I'm getting ready to shoot my first group on camera, the wind picks up. But let's go ahead and shoot at 55 yards here. Like I said, These groups are the ones that I normally wouldn't show on camera because this is going to be me dialing in my setup. But let's see how good this bow shoots with just my raw shooting ability. Yeah, let's put it down range. I'm trying to think of any excuses already. I can't think of any though, so I might be exposing myself here as not a good shooter. 50 yards. Let's check it out. I did shoot at 20 and 30 just to kind of get a guess on where 50 would be. So apparently I guessed pretty well. I'll adjust down a little bit. Let's see how this goes. That one did not feel as good. That floated a bit high. So I don't know where it hit, but we'll see here. I got another arrow, yeah. 4th arrow here. And we got one more after this. Whew. We're gonna let down with that wind there for a second. The pin float on this thing is definitely pretty bad. This draw length is too long, I can tell already. But like the other bow that I'm pretty sure belonged to the same person, the strings were all sorts of messed up, so I just had too much of a hard time getting into spec. But yeah, we'll go ahead, see how this runs. Last arrow here, first group at 50. So like I said, the draw length is too long. If you don't know what other bow I'm referring to, it was in my video from last week. It was a hunting bow that I bought used. I wanted to doll it up as much as I can, and I'm using that as my backup bow. And I'll talk more on like what I really think of used bows now that I've bought 2 of them, and how I honestly think that they're pretty important when it comes to a role that they can play in archery. Okay, first 5-arrow group. Obviously, I had one that pulled right there. I think I called that shot as soon as it let go that it was really high. That 4-arrow group right there, one of them being low and then kind of adjusting for the others, that's pretty sick. That's a pretty good group, I'm not gonna lie. This thing may be a tack driver once we get it all set up and rolling. Like I was saying with where I think used bows fit in, and honestly why they can be pretty important, I would compare it to like a beater truck. You know, obviously when you buy a $1,300, $1,400 bow, however expensive hunting bows or target bows are getting nowadays, you can be really reluctant to want to do stuff to it, to want to go out on a limb and try to scratch an itch that's there with adjusting a bow, tuning a bow, doing anything like that. Honestly though, when you have $200 of overhead compared to $1,200 of overhead, you might be a little bit more willing to go out on a limb, a little bit more willing to change some stuff, to loosen the string, to twist up the cables, to do whatever it is that you want to do with that bow to see just where you can be locked in when you shoot. And then once you figure out how to do that on a cheap bow, you can go ahead and do that on your expensive bows once you're comfortable with it. I'm excited for this bow on this channel, honestly, because A, I'm gonna doll it up. I'm gonna do a different video with good equipment on it. I have a cheap stabilizer on it. I'm throwing new catalyst bars on it. As soon as they get in the mail, I can't wait for those to get in. I'm gonna be changing up the equipment, getting new strings, but honestly, I think I'm gonna turn this into like a community bow, and I'm gonna repaint it, so that's gonna be pretty exciting. And at any of like the shoots, I go to the Iowa Deer Classic every year, gonna go to a couple other like 3D shoots that a lot of people might go to. I don't really know. An idea that I had is painting it white and just seeing people who have seen the channel or contributed to, subscribing or liking or anything like that, having them come up and sign the bow or write something funny on it, being able to have this as like a timepiece. You can really see, an impact that subscribers have left or just people who are in the archery community have left. That's one idea. I also might just make it look like the ugliest bow I possibly can, but I kind of like the signature idea. I don't know. That's just one idea that I had with it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, because in all honesty, I really like the idea of, you know, painting it and having people who just want to come up and writing something on it. Because, I mean, you guys make an impact on the channel so much, you guys might as well make an impact physically on a bow. And I'm kind of scared to see some of the stuff that's written on there for people who I run into, because you guys get kind of wild sometimes. But that's for another day. Honestly, that grouped really well that last time. So let's just see if we can lock it in here and, I don't know, get a good group in the bullseye. But let's see. Whew. I totally didn't adjust it the wrong way that time. Okay, let's see how those shot. Let's check them out. I'm not gonna walk down and record it this time, but we'll finish this last group off after this and we'll be good to go. Okay, the target camera died. I don't know when it died, but that is the group. Honestly, not that bad for the second group that I shot out of this thing. I did have that one that flew a little bit to the right that I over adjusted for, but for what it is, it's pretty good. And I better hope that I have a battery for the target camera, because if not, we're gonna have to figure something out. I had another battery for the target camera. It's fully charged. It came in clutch. Let's go ahead and shoot one more group here, and I think we'll cap the video off at that. This thing is drilling. At least it feels like it. I could be hitting all over the place, but it feels like it's drilling, I should say. Let's go check it out. I should get a scooter or something. I don't like doing all this walking. I think I'm not doing as well grouping wise, because shooting at this long of a draw length honestly is just kind of messing up my form, my pin float and everything like that. So I definitely think that a new set of strings are gonna be the first thing to order. But like I said, this bow is $200. And if I got that type of group with the conditions today out of a $1,200 bow, I honestly wouldn't be too, ashamed of it, especially with it being at 50 meters and me having less than 30 arrows on this bow. I honestly know that I can clean that group up. So yeah, I'm pretty content with it. But I don't know, I could have been shooting horrible. Let me know down in the comments if you guys think that I was. Let me know any tips. Honestly, let me know what you guys think I should do to this bow. I'm really excited for kind of the journey that this thing's gonna go on. I really wanna know what we should do to it as far as like changing the looks. I wanna paint it, I wanna do something. So give me input on that. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'm very excited for this target archery path that we're gonna be going on this winter. There's still gonna be bow hunting stuff. I'm not gonna turn into a complete nerd. I'm joking, target archers aren't nerds. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. So have a blessed day, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one.